time management. This month, we've been doing nothing but leadership mindset, and we're gonna go into now time management so that you can actually develop peak productivity. If your calendar is empty, your business is bleeding time. You need to be able to run your daily life like a high-performance athlete, down to the freaking minute. So in this episode, we're gonna get into how you can take your calendar from chaos to control and why that one move will double your productivity without burning out. Let's get into it right now in 3, in 2, in 1. Welcome guys to the show. We are back here at the beautiful studio here in Tampa, Florida, and I want to get into time management because quite frankly, my calendar is my CRM. It's really what runs my entire life. And I can tell you that if it's not in my calendar, chances are it's not gonna get done. I've even tried to-do lists and checklists for that stuff, but it's gotta be in my calendar. Even my wife tells me, put it in your calendar because she knows that if it's not in my calendar, it's just not gonna get done. But before we get into it, I wanna make sure that you subscribe to this channel because it's going to a completely other stratosphere. You're gonna get so much content here, whether you're a public adjuster, an entrepreneur, a business owner, or whatever it is, or just somebody looking to really gain something in your life, you're going to get a lot out of this because I'm making an impact this year. So make sure that you subscribe, okay? And then also share it. Share it on social media if you really like the content so that we could just ultimately keep growing this thing to a whole other level. So what I want to get into today is your calendar. That's right. That's your calendar. Your calendar equals your operating system. Most people just use their calendar like a reminder, but high performers, they use it like a freaking machine. Like I said, I use my calendar for everything. My executive assistant knows that if it's not in my calendar, it's not going to happen. She has full control of my calendar to make sure things are put in there so that I actually get them done. I could go off and tell you how we have my assistant also making sure that all of the information is in there that I need about a particular meeting or about a particular guest, and also making sure that I get notes after that meeting is complete. But don't worry about that. We can use that for another one. Make sure that you block every single hour of every single day, not just meetings. I'm also talking about thinking time, gym time, deep focus work time, and even family time. Nothing gets your attention if it's not in your calendar, not even you. So what I want you to do is look at your calendar right now. Does it reflect your priorities or does it reflect your distractions? Take a really close look. The best thing that you can do is literally, you should be able to look at your calendar for the week and find out if you're actually going towards your goal, if you're actually having the end in mind that you're looking for. If you're in the weave of things that don't help you accomplish what you want to accomplish, and you can't even tell that in your calendar, number one, you're not doing your calendar right. And number two, if you see those things, then you can do an audit on your calendar and try to either remove the things that you don't want in there that's not allowing you to get to your goals, or transfer them to somebody else so you could free up the time to fill that calendar up with the things that light you up, with the things that excite you, and with the things that get you towards the result that you're looking for the week, for the quarter, or for the year. All right, so let's tell you exactly how to do it. Time blocking. All right. You want to be able to block off your time. You want to take big chunks, okay, of your day and block them off into certain things. All right. So let's go with 4. There's 4 of them that I like to focus on to make sure that my entire day is blocked to these things. Number 1 is focus blocks. That's deep work, no distractions. This is your money zone. You want to try to focus on these focus blocks on either growing yourself, expanding, or money generating activities. So block it off to focus blocks to make sure that you're actually taking that time to focus. For me, morning time is a very important time for me to actually focus on the things that I need to be focusing on to help expand myself and my companies. The next thing is meeting blocks. Now you have to where you have to sit with people, you group those together and don't let them scatter your brain. If you put them all in one space, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 back-to-back meetings, you knock them all out, you stay focused on those meetings and focused on those people as opposed to other things. If you're focused on too many things, then you're not going to get them done and you're not going to get the attention or give the attention that you want to the people that you're actually meeting with. The next one is your admin and your follow-up blocks. These are your emails, your text messages, your check-ins, just one window so that you can actually just get all of that stuff done, okay? I personally do not check my emails anymore. I have an admin, my executive assistant that checks my emails for me. However, there are emails that she can't respond to or she can't actually get them done for whatever reason there is. There's a separate folder that I have that I get to look at. These are the ones that I have to do. I have a time blocked in my day to make sure that I tackle those and get those done. And then there's, of course, recovery blocks. This is your gym time. This is your meditation time. This is your family time. These are some of your breaks. Whatever it is, schedule it in your life first. Schedule it in your calendar so that it's there. You do not want these things to intertwine. If you want to stay present and if you want to focus all the attention that you actually can to your family and to the things that you really enjoy in your personal life, you have to block it. You have to put it out there. Dinner time, right? Playing with my kid time, whatever it is, make sure that you block it out. So what do we got? We got focus blocks, money generating activities, and also expansion, meeting blocks so that you can meet with other people and stay focused on them, admin and follow-up blocks with following up with your admins, emails, text messages, check-ins, and all of that, and then recovery blocks, gym time, meditation time, family time, and even your breaks. Put them into your calendar. Let me give you a suggestion. Color code it. Name each block. No guesswork. Have them look different colors so that you know exactly what's coming up in your day so you could focus on those things. Your calendar should tell you exactly what to do every hour of every day. If you don't do that, someone else will. Another tip I want to give you guys is what I call the gray zone. Eliminate the gray zone, or I call it the scatterbrain zone. It's just a zone where you're just not focused on anything. The whole point of making sure that you have everything on your calendar and it is strictly detailed and focused on every minute of the day that you need to be doing, and you separate it into these focus blocks, is to just be focused. What ends up happening is if you don't do that, you get scatterbrained. If you have a meeting right after a focus time or right after a sales call or right after spending time with your kids, then while you're spending time with your kids, you're going to be thinking about the meeting. While you're in the meeting, you're going to be thinking about the email that just came across that you had to respond to that you weren't sure you should have sent or not. The biggest killer to productivity, guys, it's just that awkward space between the tasks where nothing gets done, or that just back-to-back type of different things that you're focusing on that just gets you scatterbrained. Guys, I am a true victim in my past and even still sometimes to this day of the scatterbrain syndrome. It just drives you crazy. You know it's happening. You're just not thinking, and then you start forgetting things and you start not following up with things. I would advise you that you get yourself an executive assistant as soon as you can to help you with these things, or fix your calendar. Make sure that you block these times out so that you don't get that scatterbrain. If you don't own every minute of your day, you're going to lose hours to indecision. You're going to lose hours to distraction, or you're just going to lose hours to what I say, fake business. That is not really, you're just not doing anything. You're just doing something because you feel like you need to be doing something. So you're either in a block or you're wasting time. There's no in between. Scatterbrain, mental fog, random calls, emails that come in that just shake up your world, they only happen when you're not clear about what's next. So make sure you really focus in. Again, I'm going to go back to how I started. Your calendar is your CRM. As an entrepreneur, as the business owner, I myself have 3 businesses, coming up on 4 businesses, coming up on actually a 5th business that I'm going to potentially not only acquire, but also be an investor in. I cannot handle all of that stuff if my calendar is not scheduled the way it needs to be. So make sure you try this block schedule so that you can eliminate just the whole scatterbrain and mental fog that you don't want. Because at the end of the day, guys, your calendar ultimately builds your business. If you want to scale, you have to treat your time like an investment, not an expense. When you block your calendar right, it forces you to delegate. It forces you to say no. And it protects your zone of genius. If you go back to one of our previous, I'll put it like right up here, when we talk about the limiting beliefs and getting into your zone of genius, if you don't block out your time correctly, you're going to never get into that zone of genius. The homework that I gave you for that video, again, if you make sure you click up here, is you're going to want to find at least 30 minutes a day, or you could find out an entire day where you're in your zone of genius. If you don't get control of your calendar, you're never going to get in there. So stop being the bottleneck. You have to start being the owner. You don't need more hours. You just need better blocks. You need better organization. You need better structure. And you need to have this framework or another framework, whatever it is that you want to choose, to make sure that you are following it and you are actually very strict and dedicated to your calendar. And not even strict and dedicated, I would also tell you to be very protective of your calendar. Like I said, you want to be able to say no. You want to be able to delegate. You want to be able to transfer stuff. You also want to be able to audit your calendar when the time is right. If you feel like you've done this exercise and everything is going great, what's going to happen is after 2 weeks or maybe after a month, You might be going backwards and realizing that you're starting to mix things. That's okay. That's normal. You could audit your calendar and figure out what went wrong the last 2 weeks. What went wrong the last month here that I'm starting to get this feeling again. And you have to audit your calendar. When you do that, you either eliminate stuff or you transfer it to someone else to take care of so that you don't. So let's start with 3 blocks, okay? Let's start with just 3 simple blocks that you could go ahead and put into your calendar and see how they work, okay? One is gonna be called the CEO block. Okay, this is just an example. We'll just throw it out there. 90 minutes a day. You're going to just spend with no meetings, just you and some high-level thinking. There's a great book that's called The Road Less Stupid. Great book. You're going to want to pick that one up. But in the book, the author is Keith Cunningham, and he talks about something called thinking time. That's you with your thoughts, with a notepad, with your hand on your forehead, and you just writing down thoughts. Whatever issue you're trying to solve, whatever idea that you have, whatever big picture thing that you're trying to think of, you sit down for at least 90 minutes, half hour. Start with whatever you want and just start writing stuff down. Or just time to read a book, time to expand yourself. CEO block is a really good one so that you could actually spend some time for yourself. Another one that I think is very important is sales. Have a sales block. That's right. Every day you need to be, quite frankly, going out there and finding more sales, okay? You need lead flow or you die. So make sure that you're spending time opening up conversations on social media, cold calling or calling potential clients or calling potential business partners or calling potential people that want to purchase a business, whatever it is. You know, for us, we're constantly looking for sellers. We're also constantly looking for buyers to the sellers that are selling their companies. As a business broker, I have to make sure that if I get a seller on contract, that I start looking for buyers and finding buyers immediately and good potential buyers. So I got to go out there and sell. Also, just to find those sellers. So I have to spend every single day making sure I have at least an hour every day that I'm focused on finding new sellers, finding buyers for those sellers of those companies, but also social media wise, guys. You guys that follow me, chances are some of you have already received a message from me. That's from me personally, just me trying to figure out how I could help you and how I could ultimately find a way that I can make an impact on your business or on your life to really just further expand you. And those are my sales calls. The other one is recovery, okay? Whatever fuels you, whether it's the gym, whether it's a walk outside, whether it's just spending time with your family, without this, you're going to burn out. Do not be the entrepreneur. Do not be the CEO that just doesn't stop working. What I mean by stop working is you stop working. You don't keep your mind in the clouds. You don't keep your mind on all those other things. Make sure that you have that focused time to really recover, spend time with your family, get that workout in, because that's honestly what's going to keep you sane. And like I said, keep you from burning out. So if these 3 aren't on your calendar, well, you're not building, you're just reacting. So you could start with those 3 blocks, or you could start with some other blocks yourself, or whatever it is that you want to do. But make sure that you start with something. Some kind of structure, some kind of strict way of actually keeping control of your calendar. Because remember, your calendar is your CRM. You have way too many things going on as a CEO, way too many things going on as an entrepreneur, that if you don't actually have time to focus on the things that really excite you, that really light you up, well, guess what? You're not going to be successful. So that's what we got for today, guys. Calendar blocking, making sure you're keeping track of your calendar, treating your calendar as your CRM, and being very protective. You have to be very protective of your calendar, and nobody can get in the way of that. That's what we have for you guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you like it. Make sure that you share so that we can really continue to make an impact on as many people as we possibly can, because we're coming at you 3 times a week. Monday, we've got a guest. Wednesday, it's right here, Content Wednesday, to give you something new that I've learned or that I've experienced or that I'm using right now at the moment that's really working. And then Sunday, I go live where I get personal and I go deep inside what's going on in my life, in my business, and in other things as well. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week. Peace out.